Isn't this beautiful? That is Loch Doon. And this is the Carrick area of Ayrshire. I've decided to come down to Loch Doon for the day to enjoy the scenery and let you see what it's like. And although this loch is so beautiful to look at, so serene, it does have a bit of dark history. But I'll tell you about that later. In the meantime, let's go and have a little explore of this beautiful loch down here in Ayrshire, in the Galloway forest. Do you hear that little willow warbler? Make it sound like I know about birds, but I've just looked up the Merlin app. It's a willow warbler. Isn't this absolutely beautiful? Let me tell you something about Loch Doon. Back in 1941, during the Second World War, there was a plane crash in this loch. It was a Spitfire being flown by František Haeckel, and it happened on the 25th of October 1941 here in Loch Doon. He was flying low, according to an eyewitness account, across the loch, where he tried to turn round to the right, the starboard side, when his starboard side wing clipped the loch, and he subsequently crashed. The plane and his body was never to be found for years and years and years. He was only a young man, born in 1915. What would that make him? 26. Pilot number 312, Czechoslovak, Squadron RAF. And this here that I'm standing before is a memorial to the memory of that brave pilot. Here it is here. And there's the loch. There was indeed another plane crash here at Loch Doon, up in the hills. Again, a training exercise from an airstrip, not that far from here. At the time it was called the Heathfield. But he crashed his plane at the top of the hills, and apparently the wreckage can still be found to this day. Now, if you've watched my previous video about my attempt to get to the wreckage of the plane on the Irish Law a few months back, you'll see that I get into a bit of difficulty. And so although apparently this is a kind of easier climb, I'm not going to attempt it. It's a 7 mile round trip. So, and I know it's a lovely day today, but I'm not feeling it my greatest, so I'll just tell you the story instead. But isn't this absolutely beautiful here? This is in the Galloway Forest Park. It's spectacular. All I've seen all around is motorhomes parked, enjoying the scenery. There's great walks. There's the castle, which I'm heading to very soon. But of course there's this magnificent loch that you can see in the background. Absolutely incredible. So I've brought a packed lunch, and I'm going to find somewhere nice to just sit and have it and enjoy myself here at Loch Doon. This is Loch Doon Castle, built in the 13th century. It's an 11-sided structure that was once owned by the Earls of Carrick. Loch Doon Castle was not built on this site. It once belonged on an island in the middle of Loch Doon, but it was painstakingly dismantled brick by brick, numbered, and brought to its new site here in the 1930s and rebuilt for preservation. It's amazing how they can do that, isn't it? The reason they done that is because they were wanting to create a hydroelectric power system using the water from the loch. So they dammed off the loch, and that raised the level of it by 27 feet, which would of course render the castle underwater. So it was moved here to its new location. And when you look around here at the way they've rebuilt it, I mean, you would not believe that this has been dismantled and rebuilt. It's absolutely spectacular. Here's a sign telling you all about it. It's amazing when you look at that there. It was built for the Earls of Carrick, family of Robert the Bruce, in the late 1200s. Some remains were left on the island and can still be seen when the water levels are low. Well, this is the kind of the beginning of May, so we're not that long after the spate of spring. So the water levels will not really be low. We've had quite a bit of rain in a few months. We're just heading into the drier season now. I say drier season, we're in Scotland, of course. We don't really have a dry season. If we have 3 days in a row of sun, we think it's a drought, you know. But yeah, that would be interesting to see the remains of that. But I don't think we'll see that today. Do you think people would have lived in this space with this setup? It's quite a size. You can imagine how high it would have gone up with the structure complete. Right, let's go out before the enemy comes and get something to eat. See what I said about the water, there's a lot of surface water here. But there's two little stones to stand on to get across. There we go. And there is a little car park down there. You can park your car free of charge. I can see a very small island over there, but I don't think that was the one. But if I zoom in, the zoom's not very good in this camera, but I can see a Scottish flag on it. But just look at these beautiful hills. Excuse the telegraph pole. Beautiful. The last shot of the castle before we go. I mean, this is a beautiful road if you've got a bike, even an electric bike. Just saunter along, listening to the sounds of the birds and looking at the loch. Absolutely beautiful. So if you're into your bird watching, there's an osprey viewing area here. Looks absolutely tremendous. I think it's closed though at the moment. Yeah, there's a little car park, but it's closed at the moment. Picnic benches and a little bit about it all. Look at that view you've got across the road. Oh, there looks like a nice bit down there. I wonder if I can get down there and eat my lunch. It says this is a rural watch area. I had the pleasure once of seeing an osprey catching a fish. I think I mentioned it before. I was out with a friend on his fishing boat on Loch Doon, I think it was. And then we saw one. In fact, here's a picture of the very thing that I saw. Yeah, it was that there. And when it comes out the water, it does this little shimmy to shake the water off it, and then off it goes with its catch, with its single fish. No chips. I actually think there's a little path down there, so let's go down there. Yeah, it looks fairly easy. Even for me. This is absolutely beautiful. I'll just go out to this little kind of outpost bit here. The places in Scotland are just mind-blowingly beautiful. Sorry, little sheep. I'm disturbing the sheep. Take it nice and easy. And I'll sit up at these rocks. Hello. Yeah, they're very wary. Here we have an emergency rescue pole. In case you need to hook someone out the water. This is absolutely stunning. Try and get a bit away from the wind. There's a slight wind. Although it looks gloriously sunny, it is very, very cold. It's a cold wind. I wonder if I should try around the other side. The wind's actually at this side. I'll see if there's anywhere around the other side. Hopefully I don't get any difficulty like I did in the Irish law. This looks like a nice place to just sit. Look at this. Just all flat rock here. Yeah, I'll just sit here. Very simple lunch today. Juice. Somewhere to put it. Yep. One roll. One banana. It's great to get out and about and just sit looking at this kind of medicine. So the air crash that crashed into the loch in 1941, the pilot was never found again. However, the wreckage of the plane was finally found in 1982, 41 years later, after various attempts, including a group from Blackpool who'd come up to help with the search. They systematically searched the loch until they found them. Now, bearing in mind that we spoke earlier that the loch had been raised 27 feet by the hydroelectric dam, the dam to create the hydroelectricity. So it must be quite a depth. The crash would have happened just, 5 years after that, after the water was raised. And then of course there was another crash in 1944, and this one crashed in the hills. Again, they'd taken off from Ayr at Heathfield, and he was only 7 minutes into the flight when he came down straight into the hills. He wasn't discovered till the next morning. It was low cloud, etc. But he was found the next day, and ironically, there was a whole bunch of planes had taken off that day. I think there was 7 typhoons, and ironically one of the typhoons crashed, and that pilot died as well in a different area. And both of those pilots are buried together. So sad. This was during wartime, Second World War. So this whole area was used as a Air Force training camp. They set up targets, etc. And it was used for training during the Second World War. When you look at it now, it's a serene, as you can possibly get. Such a beautiful day. Have you ever been to Loch Doon? Or been to the castle, or been to the Galloway forest? Let me know in the comments. Or let me know other places that's come to your mind that's like this, that I could go and visit. I'd appreciate that. Something else has come to my mind, something else, a good attraction for coming here to the Galloway forest, is if you're a stargazer, if you like looking at the stars. I think this is part of a dark sky reserve down here, where you can come down and there's no light pollution at all, and you can see all the stars. And I think you're banned from car headlights or torches. I don't know the ins and outs, but I know there's certain restrictions to keep the light almost nil, you know, for stargazing. The last time I checked, which is quite a few years ago now, I believe there was only about 2 or 3 dark sky reserves in the whole of Europe, and this is one of them here in the Galloway forest. So if that's your thing, stargazing, looking at meteors, comets, whatever, looking at the moon, this is the place to come. Well, that's my lunch. Right, make sure to grab all my stuff, because you leave nothing behind but your DNA. Sorry sheepsies, but I'm probably going to disturb you again. I'll be as gentle as I can. Someone's had a little fire up here. Well, that's my trip over in the Galloway forest at Loch Doon. I hope you enjoyed that little trip with me. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the scenery, and if you can think of any other places I can go. I thoroughly enjoyed myself today, and I hope you did too. So thanks for watching, you take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye now. Feel all cheered up now. Bye.